Elon Reeve Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, Transvaal, South Africa. His mother is Maye Musk, a model and dietitian born in Saskatchewan, Canada, but raised in South Africa. His father is Errol Musk, a South African electromechanical engineer, pilot, sailor, consultant, and property developer. He has a younger brother who was an early business partner, Kimbal, and a younger sister, Tosca, the CEO of the video streaming site Passionflix. His maternal grandfather, Joshua Haldeman, was an American-born Canadian. His paternal grandmother had both British and Pennsylvania Dutch ancestry. During his childhood, Musk was an avid reader. At the age of 10, he developed an interest in computing while using the Commodore VIC-20. He learned computer programming using a manual and, by the age of 12, sold the code of a BASIC-based video game he created called Blastar to PC and Office Technology magazine for approximately $500. His childhood reading included Isaac Asimov's Foundation series, from which he drew the lesson that, you should try to take the set of actions that are likely to prolong civilization, minimize the probability of a dark age and reduce the length of a dark age if there is one. Musk was severely bullied throughout his childhood and was once hospitalized after a group of boys threw him down a flight of stairs. He attended Waterkloof House Preparatory School and Bryanston High School before graduating from Pretoria Boys High School. Although his father insisted that he attend college in Pretoria, Musk became determined to move to the United States, saying, "I remember thinking and seeing that America is where great things are possible, more than any other country in the world." Aware that it would be easier to enter the United States from Canada, he applied for a Canadian passport through his Canadian-born mother. While awaiting Canadian documentation, Musk attended the University of Pretoria for 5 months. This allowed Musk to avoid mandatory service in the South African military. Arriving in Canada in June 1989, Musk failed to locate his great-uncle in Montreal and instead stayed at a youth hostel. He then traveled west to live with a second cousin in Saskatchewan. He stayed there for a year, working odd jobs at a farm and lumber mill. In 1990, Musk entered Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario. 2 years later, he transferred to the University of Pennsylvania. He graduated in 1997 with a Bachelor of Science degree in economics from the Wharton School and a Bachelor of Arts degree in physics. In 1995, Musk and his brother Kimbal along with Greg Curry started Zip2, a web software company, with money raised from a small group of angel investors. They housed the venture at a small rented office in Palo Alto. The company developed and marketed an internet city guide for the newspaper publishing industry, with maps, directions, and yellow pages. Their efforts materialized when the Musk brothers obtained contracts with the New York Times and the Chicago Tribune, and persuaded the board of directors to abandon plans for a merger with CitySearch. Musk's attempts to become CEO were thwarted by the board. Compaq acquired Zip2 for $307 million in cash in February 1999. Musk received $22 million for his 7% share from the sale. In March 1999, Musk co-founded X.com, an online financial services and email payment company, with $10 million from the sale of Zip2. 1 year later, the company merged with Confinity, which had a money transfer service called PayPal. The merged company focused on the PayPal service and was renamed PayPal in 2001. In October 2002, PayPal was acquired by eBay for $1.5 billion in stock, of which Musk received $165 million. Before its sale, Musk, who was the company's largest shareholder, owned 11.7% of PayPal's shares. In 2017, Musk purchased the domain X.com from PayPal for an undisclosed amount, explaining that it had sentimental value to him. In 2001, Musk conceived Mars Oasis, an idea to land a miniature experimental greenhouse on Mars, containing food crops growing on Martian regolith, in an attempt to reawaken public interest in space exploration. In October 2001, Musk traveled to Moscow with Jim Cantrell and Adia Resi to buy refurbished DNEPR intercontinental ballistic missiles that could send the payloads into space. The group met with companies such as NPO Lavochkin and Cosmotras. However, according to Cantrell, Musk was seen as a novice and was consequently spat on by one of the Russian chief designers. The group returned to the United States empty-handed. In February 2002, the group returned to Russia to look for 3 ICBMs. The group had another meeting with Cosmotras and were offered one rocket for $8 million, which Musk rejected. On the flight back from Moscow, Musk realized that he could start a company that could build the affordable rockets he needed. Ultimately, Musk founded SpaceX with the long-term goal of creating a true spacefaring civilization. In 2006, NASA announced that the company was one of two selected to provide crew and cargo resupply demonstration contracts to the International Space Station, followed by a $1.6 billion commercial resupply services program contract on December 23, 2008, for 12 flights of its Falcon 9 rocket and Dragon spacecraft to the space station, replacing the U.S. Space Shuttle after it retired in 2011. On May 25, 2012, the SpaceX Dragon vehicle berthed with the ISS, making history as the first commercial company to launch and berth a vehicle to the International Space Station. Starting in 2011, SpaceX received funding under NASA's Commercial Crew Development Program to develop the Dragon 2 crew capsule. A contract to provide crew flights to the ISS was awarded in 2014. SpaceX focuses on making its rockets reusable. On December 22, 2015, SpaceX successfully landed the first stage of its Falcon 9 rocket back near the launch pad, the first time this had been achieved by an orbital rocket. Landings were later achieved on an autonomous spaceport drone ship, an ocean-based recovery platform. Starting in 2017, boosters were reflown on further missions, with booster reuse becoming more common than new boosters from 2018 on. SpaceX began development of the Starlink constellation of low Earth orbit satellites in 2015 to provide satellite internet access, with the first two prototype satellites launched in February 2018. A second set of test satellites and the first large deployment of a piece of the constellation occurred in May 2019, when the first 60 operational satellites were launched. The total cost of the decade-long project to design, build, and deploy the constellation is estimated by SpaceX to be about $10 billion. Manned flight, the Demo 2, becoming the first private company to both place a person into orbit and to eventually dock a crewed spacecraft with the ISS. Furthermore, it marked the first time an American astronaut was launched from American soil on an American rocket since the end of the Space Shuttle program. Tesla, Inc. was incorporated in July 2003 by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, who financed the company until the Series A round of funding. Both men played active roles in the company's early development prior to Musk's involvement. Musk led the Series A round of investment in February 2004, joining Tesla's board of directors as its chairman. As of January 29, 2016, Musk owned about 28.9 million Tesla shares, which equated to about 22% of the company. In January 2018, Musk was granted an option to buy up to 20.3 million shares if Tesla's market value were to rise to $650 billion. Musk provided the initial concept and financial capital for Solar City, which his cousins Lyndon and Peter Rive co-founded in 2006. By 2013, Solar City was the second largest provider of solar power systems in the United States. In 2012, Musk announced that Solar City and Tesla would collaborate to use electric vehicle batteries to smooth the impact of rooftop solar on the power grid, with the program going live in 2013. A statement that seemed outlandish 1 year ago became plausible, then almost inevitable as Tesla Inc.'s share price climbed higher and higher in 2020. On Thursday it finally happened. The electric automaker's shares surged 7.9%, boosting Musk past Amazon.com Inc. founder Jeff Bezos on the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, a ranking of the world's 500 wealthiest people. Musk is worth $194.8 billion, or $9.5 billion more than Bezos, whose Blue Origin is a rival to Musk's Space Exploration Technologies Limited, or SpaceX, in the private space race. Its market value of $773.5 billion is bigger than that of Facebook Inc. Larry Ellison's 2% stake in Tesla alone would be enough to place the Oracle Corp. founder among the world's 175 richest people. Musk's rise is even more astonishing given his dust-ups and gaffes in recent years, typically exacerbated by his spontaneous tweets. In 2018 he agreed to pay a $20 million fine to the Securities and Exchange Commission and stepped down as chairman of Tesla after tweeting a notion to take the company private at $420 a share, with funding secured, something he never did. After reports of his new status were published Thursday, Musk tweeted, "How strange," then added, "Well, back to work." Still, he's gotten on board with at least one trend among the super rich. He confirmed last month he'd personally relocated from California to Texas, a state that has gained new popularity among the wealthy for levying zero income tax. Even with Tesla's remarkable rise, Bezos would still hold a wide lead over Musk had it not been for his divorce, which saw him transfer a quarter of the family Amazon stake to his ex-wife, Mackenzie Scott, and his philanthropy. He donated shares worth about $680 million in November. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this kind of video, don't forget to subscribe, and tap the notification bell. Thank you.